Today we're speedrunning through Poly Bridge 2, a speedrun that turns a game that should be really relaxing into something way too stressful. And the speedrun we're going to be doing is all the levels for Glowing Gorge. So we can start the speedrun as soon as we click on play level, and then right away you can see why this game is kind of stressful. Basically, I have to make these bridges as fast as possible. I don't really have any time to think about it. Luckily, I have memorized everything and I have a ton of muscle memory in this game, but it can be kind of hard, especially when you're just trying to do everything fast and making sure these people don't die. They have places to go. Even though this car, it kind of tumbles and goes like that, so the cars aren't always having the greatest times in the world, but I don't really care about the people. I care about going fast. So what I want to do here is place a couple of these metal places, get some of this wood as well to make sure everything is structurally sound, and finally use those to make sure this is actually a bridge. We can flip that to make it even faster, and there we go. This is going to be a perfect bridge where the fire truck can go through, the bridge lifts up so then the ship can go through, and then finally it will go right back down and we can get our final car to make it to its flag. So you can see how this game goes. Basically, you just want to make bridges that work, that allow all the people to do what they need to do while also not breaking, because that would be kind of weird. So for this one, we can place a bridge right there. We're also going to place a bridge here, and we have to make sure it gets the star because that will be a requirement for finishing the level. Since this one is a limo, it's really long and this level is kind of annoying, so I have to make sure that that's actually a perfect bridge. And then we can place a couple of these metal bars. Thankfully, we have enough money to just place as many of those as we want. And there we go. Now the limo can go through, the boat goes through first, then the limo has to go up this thing. We use those small adjustments to make sure it could go through there fast. It makes it through to the star, and finally it gets to the flag. That's another level done. Then we move on to probably one of the coolest levels, where basically I want to place that right there, and then I place a couple of these roads here as well, and then finally put some ropes on all of these. And what this is going to do is it's going to act as sort of a jump. So our car is going to really quickly go through there, make the jump, make it to the flag, and it's kind of just a beautiful level. But now we have a bit of a slower level where we have to help this bus make it through. So I'm going to make a couple of these bridges right there, use some of this metal to go through here, just make sure everything looks good. And then finally we will place a bunch of wood throughout the level, and then that will be our final support, because as you can see, I could just spam all of the metal bars, but we only have a certain amount of money on each level, and if we go past that, it won't count. And I just realized that messed up, so we're just gonna redo that. Thankfully, it's a very quick fix, but as I was saying, we want to make sure we stay within our budget so we finish it out nice. And I'm glad that that level messed up really quickly, so we didn't even lose too much time. It was just a very small mistake. So now we can move on to this one, where we're going to want to use some reinforced road, which is stronger, but it's more expensive. So you can kind of see where we have to use all these things correctly. Then we place some of this wood. This part is actually kind of specific, which how you have to do it. I will place all of that wood right there. We'll open that up so it can go up and down, and then finally place one of those. So yeah, now it's going to be perfect. Our monster truck makes it through, gets to its stars, and then it will reverse, so then it has to go back, and that's why we had to place that entire thing, and it will finally make it to the flag. So yeah, it's a little bit of a complicated game, but it makes sense the more you play it. So for this one, what I want to do is, oh gosh, I just placed the wrong thing. I have to change that, and there we go. That's going to be much better. And then we can place that one as well. That's going to be a perfect nice bridge. Then we want to reinforce it with a bunch of wood, so I'm going to place that all throughout there. And then finally we'll go down to the steel, place a couple of these steel beams, and this one is not very specific with the money, so you can be pretty free about it. You're not worrying about it too much, but as you can see, we had a really fast car, then two more cars that have to make it through. This limo kind of struggles right here and then just falls down and hits the flag. Several people were probably hurt right there, but I don't really have time to worry about them. Now for this one, we're going to create an even weirder road, because for this one, yeah, it is not going to be very safe. I'll place one road right there and then one right here as well, and you can see that's pretty much it. There's no support, no anything else, and we kind of just have to hope everything works out, which is a little bit scary for these people who are driving, but I don't really care. I have to go fast, so that means you have to be in very dangerous positions. It's part of the deal. Now for this one, we can place that up there, then place that there as well, and this is one of my favorite levels just because it's so clean. So what we'll do there is put that, use one of these ropes to make sure it has enough structural integrity. We can finally go through here, flip that, and then it's going to be both sides. It just looks like a nice road, and it works really well too. That person wasn't in any danger, which I am kind of sad about that part, but that's fine. He'll be in danger later. So for this one, I want to place a jump right there, and then also make that go down a bit so the other person can make it through as well. Place some of this metal to make sure everything is fine, before finally placing some of this wood as well, just to make sure the structural integrity of it is beautiful. Okay, that was kind of messed up. I hope that doesn't ruin anything, but it seems like they're going to make it through. All we have to do is wait for this car, which is kind of going to tumble, but still make it it through, so it doesn't really matter if you got hurt. Now this one's a really cool one in my opinion. What we're going to want to do is place that bridge there, and then we place one of these ropes, which is going to go all the way down there. We can use some metal, and then what we're going to do is flip that, and it's just a perfect thing where all the airplanes can come through. This guy's on his motorcycle. I'm not sure why he's deciding to do this, but he's having a great time, even if it is very dangerous. I guess that's the point of this game, though. You just want to do dangerous things that probably will kill you, but hey, you have a pretty good time at least, I hope. Now for this one, I want to have a nice jump, so I'm going to put that right there. Use some metal beams to support everything, and then finally we can put some of these wooden beams as well to finish this off. Just make sure that everything is perfect. We're a little bit over budget, so I'm going to raise that a tiny bit, and that should be fine. All he has to do is make that jump, and he makes it to the flag. Now we're back to kind of a normal level, where for this one we just want to place that there. We have to make sure they get to the star, otherwise things aren't going to work out. So we can place that as well. We use some of this wood, or I guess that's metal, and this part is actually wood, so we'll place that as well, and they can make it through. He hits the star, makes it to his flag, and yeah, we had a great time. This one is one of the more stressful levels for sure, so what I have to do for this is kind of have this jump right there, or not really a jump, but we have to go under that blimp, and then we want this to go over that boat, so I have to make sure that's kind of specific so it will still make it up there. And then we can place that bar right there. We're going to start putting some of this wood here as well, and one cool part about this is we're going to use this blimp to place some of these ropes and make sure everything is structurally sound, and then we'll finish out with a couple of these just to make sure everything is perfectly fine, and put some more metal right there, and that should be perfect. At least I'm hoping. It's kind of tight. Okay, that was messed up. Yeah, I thought that was going to mess up a tiny bit, but there we go. We can fix it right there. It's a really quick fix. I should have thought of that earlier and not wasted that time, but the boat's gonna make it through. Our ambulance makes it through, and finally this guy on his moped, what is that called again? It's like a scooter. That's I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it. We made it through the level. That's all that matters. So for this one, this is a very cool level where what we can do is place that and then use some of these just regular wooden beams and then support it by using some of this metal. And then finally we're going to use the spring, and the springs are cool because what we can do is have those be a little bit stretched. Start the simulation, and you can see right now it's stretching, but not too much. But then once the ambulance comes down, it stretches more because it's a heavier thing, so that can make it through before finally the final scooter makes it through as well. And it's just a beautiful level. I love that thing. So at this point we only have this level left. What I'm gonna do is make sure everything is fine there. I can place that, place another one of these bridges here as well, and then we'll place a couple of these wooden things just throughout this. I don't have to be too careful about it, but I do want to be a bit and just make sure everything is fine. Then we can use some of the metal right there to make sure that's all safe. Delete that, make sure that's also fine. Delete that as well. Move this a tiny bit over before we finally place this thing. Move that all the way up, and there we go. That should be the perfect ending to the level, which we're probably just going to miss the sub 10 minutes, which is kind of sad, but this was still a really good run. All we have to do is watch this car slowly but surely go through, make it to its flag, and that's going to be another level done. Now we end off time as soon as we go to the next level, and there we go, 10:08. You know, if I didn't make that one mistake we made a little bit earlier, I probably would have gotten the sub 10 minutes. Kind of sad, but it was still a really good run, and I'm proud of it. That's also going to land me at 4th place on speedrun.com, which is exactly halfway up the leaderboard, so I'm satisfied. This game is surprisingly hard to go fast on, so getting 7 minutes and 12 seconds is actually really impressive. Definitely recommend checking out the world record in the description, of course. But yeah, I'm proud of the time I got for myself. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and I really appreciate it. Also, check out my other videos. I do a lot of cool content on this channel, so if you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy my others, and if you do, subscribe. But enough shilling. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you next time.